Another look now at the vigil underway in Littleton, Colorado, as that community marks 20 years since the massacre at Columbine High School. Shepard Smith has a look back at how that terrible day unfolded, told by the people who lived it.
It started like any other day.
I went to the school library, studied for a test.
We walked through the library, going to head out the back door to the junior parking lot.
I stopped and found a seat in the library to read a magazine.
I heard some popping noises coming from outside. I thought that they were firecrackers and some seniors were pulling a prank. And teacher ran into the room. She was completely frantic. She started yelling at all of us to hide.
We got under a table with two students who we didn't know, and we waited.
I ran maybe 10 feet in front of me and hid, pulled a chair in next to me and thought that I had a really great hiding spot.
And immediately they were shooting off their guns. They were taunting or making fun of students before they shot or killed them, kind of treating it like it was a game.
I turned around to see one of the shooters leaning down behind me and knew that my turn was coming, and it did.
Each of them fired multiple shots under our table, and I was hit twice, and Corey was killed instantly.
And they shot and killed Isaiah and then shot and killed Matt.
The school is in a panic, and I'm in the library. I've got students down under the table, kids. Heads under the table. Kids are screaming, and the teachers are, trying to take control. We need to be here. Okay, we're getting in there.
The SWAT team there is still rescuing students from inside that high school. This is Columbine High School, Littleton, a suburb of Denver.
People were getting shot all around me.
When they were shooting in the library, we heard them screaming after they'd shoot up something, they'd go, woo!
Excitement in the hallways as they gun down their classmates. That's the reality tonight, live from Littleton, Colorado.
Look at where we are. We're in the burbs, for God's sakes. I mean, this was a safe place.
The SWAT team, the bomb squad, people from ATF, many different agencies, both federal and state, as well as local, all out there. And certainly before they put any of the investigators in to figure out how this happened and to get the victims out of there, they wanted to get all these bombs first.
They were shooting people left and right.
Scenes which people in combat don't witness. The gunning down of their classmates completely out of the blue. Wondering now exactly what went wrong. Could somebody have stopped it? And what in the world do we do next?
How could somebody do that? I mean, whether or not they had problems or they were angry, they took other kids' lives.
One picture that certainly spoke 1,000 words today was this: a boy trying to run from two of his classmates who were going on a rampage inside.
The first thing I saw was a young boy, and all I could see was his legs covered in blood. And being a nurse, I knew that it was my responsibility to stop.
Police here, sheriff's officials telling us, quote, this was a well-planned mission, a suicide mission, which ended exactly as the students had expected. We're just a few hundred yards from the school where we've been reporting all day, and kids have been coming in with flowers. They've set up a makeshift memorial.
Now, 20 years later, not far from that spot, a permanent memorial stands, a place to reflect and remember those who died.
What I most want people to know about Daniel, besides just his kind nature and his intelligence, was that he was someone who took on his weaknesses.
Rachel had a fun, mischievous, bubbly side to her. Her personality was very outgoing, but she also had a very deep, sober side that people didn't see.
You know, he was a very silent force. He was a man of few words unless he was on the field. And I think that we just always wanted to make him proud.
Columbine also forced changes in the response to active shooters.
The protocol was, let's secure the perimeter. And we had a school resource officer that was exchanging gunfire on the outside and being told he could not go until SWAT arrived. And I can attest to this because I was on the street with the officers and they were ready to break rank to go into that building because they knew there were kids' lives in danger.
But the students he couldn't protect are never far from his mind.
I still have that survivor's guilt, and I'm trying to do everything I can that unfortunately those kids lost their life, but I didn't want them to die in vain. And every morning I wake up, I recite their names in Mr. Sanders' name.
After the shooting, Austin Eubanks abused drugs to cope with his grief. He's clean now and devoted to helping others who got hooked on drugs after trauma.
I can't tell you how much it means to be able to work with organizations or with individuals and have my personal story or my expertise be able to change the trajectory of their lives.
Craig Scott says he uses his story and his sister's legacy to motivate and inspire kids.
My hope is that on the 20th anniversary that people would stop if they want to do anything in remembrance of what happened at Columbine. Do this. Tell your family you love them that day.
For Casey Johnson, an author and mother, finding a way to tell her story took some time, but she now says she's using her past for good things.
I almost feel this responsibility as a survivor of Columbine to walk the road with the other victims of these events and kind of cheerlead them along the way and let them know that there is hope and there is goodness still to come, and it's all worth the journey.
Shepard Smith reporting. As we mark 20 years since the shooting at Columbine High School, we'll be right back.
Act of kindness, a loving gesture. Do it for them. I promise you'll feel amazing.